Hey everybody, Sherri James here, creator of the Metaphysical Bible Hangout. We're doing something that I call the best of the Bible Hangout, where we are revisiting series that we've done in the past. And right now we're exploring a series that we did in 2015 called Empower the Giant Within. Okay, if you are here for the premiere, I want to honor that. And I have a gift for you. And so I encourage you to make sure you watch all the way through to the end so that you can access your prize or your gift that I have for you. All right, this series I love. Now, there are 9 steps in this process to empower the giant within. And step 1 is what we're focusing on for this month, which is recognize your divine nature. Recognize your divine nature. And there are 5 things that you need to know in order to recognize your divine nature. And we're on the 4th one. So the first one we said is that you need to know the difference between the personal you and the impersonal you. We said that you need to know that you can't make a mistake. We said that you need to know how to activate the impersonal you. And where we are this week is that you need to know that you are highly impressionable. You need to know that you are highly impressionable. Advertisers spend billions with a B to drip on you because they know that enough impressions in your mind can compel you to reach for their solution when a problem occurs. And you know this. You know this already. So you think about this. How many of you actually, maybe there's like 1 or 2 people, and that'll be the one to put something in the comments, but how many of you switch up laundry detergents? I will tell you that I've used the same laundry detergent probably for the last 10 or 15 years. I use the same toothpaste for 10, actually longer than that. I don't think it's the one that I've used forever because I feel like I use a different toothpaste. But the one that I use now, I've used for probably most of my adult life. And if I use a different toothpaste, it's almost like I feel like I'm cheating on my normal brand, right? So advertisers know this, right? They really, really understand this, that you are highly impressionable, because what happens is that when an idea gets in your mind and lodges in you, nothing is impossible, but it is near impossible to separate it from you. Everything leaves an impression on you. And that's the thing that you've got to get. And this is why they're paying money. They're dropping billions of dollars because they know that everything leaves an impression on you. It's inescapable. And this is why you have to be mindful what you allow to come into your mind, because any idea that comes into your mind is going to stretch your mind. Any idea that comes into your mind is going to stretch your mind. And it's going to find space in there. And so you want to be thoughtful about the ideas that you let seep into your mind, the people that you put yourself around, the kinds of conversations that you are willing to have. All those things matter. All those things matter. Be mindful of what you put yourself in contact with. And here's the thing. There's good news in this and there's challenging news. So the good news is that you are highly impressionable. The good news is that you can begin to create a new impression that's unlike any of the other impressions that were made, right? Perhaps you were impressed with the poverty idea. And so everything around you looks and feels like poverty. You can begin to drip on yourself with the wealth idea. And that dripping will begin to change the circumstances in your life. But I don't want you to think that in an instant you can reverse the direction that your life has been moving in. Think of it like changing or turning an ocean liner in the sea. Right? If you whip it around, the whole thing falls apart, right? But it's a gentle turning. And so if you will begin to drip on yourself on a daily basis, feeding yourself with the ideas that you want to make an impression in you, you will begin to shift your life and turn your life in the direction that you want it to go. This is all part, again, of recognizing your divine nature. And so it's realizing, what would life look like if I just decided that every day I'm going to pick up something positive and read it? What might that do for me? If I commit to 30 days that the first thing that I do is that I read something that is good for my mind. That can be a devotional, that can be a positive book or pamphlet, that can be a line of scripture. What if the first thing that I take in is something positive, something uplifting? What might that do? See, because I'm highly impressionable, and my mind is going to follow whatever I allow to touch it. You know, another thing that you can do when you get into tough situations is that you can develop a mantra to pull yourself back on track. You see this with, athletes, right? When they have mantras that get them back in the game. I'm really going to date myself now. There was this Disney musical, I think it's called High School Musical, and they had a whole song called "Get Your Head in the Game." Get your head in the game. Because sometimes your attention wanders, right? Your mind goes somewhere else, right? Because you're easily impressionable. And so the mantra then pulls you back. And so you want to develop some mantras to help you address life when life starts lifing all over the place. And so that's my call to action for you this week. I want you to develop a mantra that you can use when life starts lifing all over the place. So maybe it's, I am a spiritual being. One of the things that I use, it's one of my favorites, is that I am unstoppable. I am indomitable. I am a force of nature. And I'll give those words back to myself because that mantra is there to support me, to get me back to identifying with the impersonal side of life, right? That's what it's there for. It's there to pull my attention away from the personal side of life and give it to the impersonal side of life. All right. Thank you so much for being here this week. I'm so enjoyed doing this with you. If you're here for the premiere and you have watched all the way through, on the next screen, I'll give you the information that you need in order to claim your prize. I thank you so much for being a part of this, and I can't wait to see you next week when I give you the 5th thing that you need to know in order to recognize your divine nature.